welcome back. So I'm going to jump right into some killers leave behind fingerprints, and some some killers leave behind fingerprints, and some leave behind patterns, and some leave behind nothing at all. No motive, no emotion, no hesitation. Just the hollow space where a human soul should be. We talk a lot about monsters, demons, entities, things lurking in the dark, but sometimes the scariest monsters are walking around in broad daylight.
That's for sure.
Yep. Today we're talking about the ones who weren't driven by anger or trauma or greed or passion. We're talking about the killers who felt nothing because there was nothing inside to feel. These are the soulless ones. Do you think that's going to mess up?
No.
Okay. So before we jump in, if you watched my second extended tease talk, you remember the Venn diagram I made. The ones where I separated killers into three categories: evil, soulless, and illness, and showed where they overlapped. So today's episode is diving straight into the part of the diagram that almost nobody wants to really touch. The circle labeled soulless, right? The killers who don't really fit anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about evil in the traditional sense. Evil still has intention, it has desire, it wants something, right? Soulless killers, they don't want anything, they just do. These are the people whose psychological profiles don't match trauma or pathology or even insanity. Even their own doctors walk away saying like the same kinds of things. Like there was nothing there. There was no remorse. There was no rage. There's no attachment. It's like interviewing a mannequin with a pulse, which is kind of a creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's creepy.
These are the killers who aren't acting out of pain. They're acting out of like emptiness. Or like if you watch Supernatural, the people that lose their souls and then they just do crazy stuff just because they felt like it or they want to know what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are even a few cases where detectives said themselves that said it themselves. Like a young man in the Midwest killed both of his parents, calmly cleaned up, and then went to school like nothing happened. And when the judge asked him if he understood the charges, he smiled. And it wasn't like defiantly or nervously. He just smiled. He was just like, whatever, you know?
That's weird.
The court psychologist later wrote, he's not mentally ill, he's not angry, and he's not traumatized. I just don't think he ever formed a conscience.
Huh.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
And in the early 2000s, a teenage girl in the UK was questioned after murdering a classmate, and the detectives weren't shaken up by the crime because they had seen worse. But they were, however, shaken up by her voice. She was calm. She was bored even. Like she was reading a grocery list.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
That is.
And when she was asked why, she shrugged and said, I want to know what it felt like. It didn't feel like anything.
Wow.
Didn't feel like anything. Her scan showed normal brain activity except for one thing. The part of the brain responsible for empathy and emotional bonding barely lit up at all. There was just nothing there.
That's horrible.
So, like, she literally never developed, like, the consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's crazy. A middle-aged man was arrested for multiple disappearances and then sat in the interrogation perfectly still. Detectives later said that his eyes looked like they were looking through you, not at you. And he showed no fear of like consequences, no pleasure in the killing, no anger toward victims. He didn't show really anything. It was just a blank stare. A forensic psychiatrist summed him up in a single line: evil implies intention. This was just absence.
Oh, it's weird.
It's creepy to me.
Yeah.
That's creepy to me. I don't know.
That's pretty creepy.
We can understand rage. We can understand jealousy. We can understand trauma. But like, what do you do with someone who kills simply because they just don't feel anything?
Yeah, that's odd. I don't know. They just have to be electrocuted, I think.
No motive means no warning signs. No guilt means no slip-ups. No emotion means no humanity to appeal to. And that's why investigators fear these cases the most, because you can't profile someone who has no profile. Psychology uses words like antisocial personality disorder, callous, unemotional traits, psychopathy, but even experts admit that a small percentage of killers don't fit any of these neatly. They aren't chaotic or rage filled or attention seeking, they're just vacant. They mimic emotions like masks. They study reactions not because they feel them, but because they don't want to be caught. These are the people society instinctively like recoils from, not because they look dangerous, but because something feels like it's missing. Soulless might not be a clinical word, but
Mhm.
it's the only one that describes the experience of being in the same room as them.
Yeah.
We talk about demons in the dark and unexplained entities and paranormal dangers, but there's something uniquely chilling about a killer who doesn't burn hot with passion or cold with calculation. It's someone who just doesn't burn at all, you know?
Yeah.
Because you can defeat anger, you can outrun madness, but how do you fight something that has no soul, no conscience, no reason to stop?
Right.
Sometimes the darkest evil is the emptiness behind human eyes.
Mhm.
You know, like there's some people that not necessarily evil, but like there's something mentally wrong with them
Yeah.
because they have
Mhm.
those
Yeah, they're
the
just like
shark,
blank. Yeah.
but the shark eyes.
Mhm.
Those people
Yeah.
that like turn on a dime and they have you can see it in their eyes. I always
Mhm.
called it shark eyes, like predator eyes.
Yeah.
But these people are just empty.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's spooky.
Mhm. Yeah, like we used to say back in the day when I used to go out drinking with the boys, like you get to a certain point and it'd be like your shark self came out because
Your shark self.
you're no longer that person. Your inhibitions are shed, and you're a complete different person. Maybe a jackass, maybe a
Oh
complete
yeah.
asshole. Maybe you're gonna like do something really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And like yeah, we call that your shark self. So it'd be like say if the person's name was Trista, be Shark Trista is here tonight, or Shark Brent, Shark Jason. Yeah.
Oh no, I've seen people that like explosive anger
Hmm.
and like there's just like the switch flips and
But
you
we're always supposed to forgive that person. Like they're
well
like, oh, it's Shark Brent, it's okay.
that you're talking about like people that are inebriated. I'm talking about people that just all of a sudden flip on a dime and they get the shark eyes and they do something really
Yeah,
bad.
no, that's a mental thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
like I've known somebody that's I've watched it happen
Right.
where it was right before they were horrifically violent to somebody else. They just the switch flipped and they got the shark eyes. I don't know how else to explain it. It's creepy looking. So what do you think? Do you think some people are just empty inside? Or is that what evil really looks like? That's a good question. Or is that just what evil looks like? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. It supports the channel. Um, and we appreciate it. Thank you for your time. This has been Extended Tease Talk. I'll see you next time. Bye.